The information age. It's fast-paced, productive, a time of vision and progress. Innovations in technology have added value to leading-edge products and helped every federal agency better serve the American public. But despite the overwhelming benefits, these advancements have also created new challenges and threats to our security. In our increasingly interconnected world, every system is vulnerable, and the need to protect information resources has never been more critical.
As chairwoman of the Subcommittee on Technology for the House Science Committee, I've heard firsthand about the threat that exists to sensitive electronic data, and I want you to be more aware of the dangers that are out there. Your agency's computer security policy is too important to be surrendered to chance or to other interested parties. So who is responsible for making your employees aware of the threats and then educating them about how to handle these issues? As a federal executive, you are.
Today, the demand for timely, accurate information in the federal government is growing at an unprecedented rate, and agency missions can only be achieved with the help of computers. All information that is produced, stored, used, and transmitted by federal agencies has value. The level of that value depends on its use. While some of it is classified, the Office of Management and Budget Circular A-130, entitled Management of Federal Information Resources, states that all federal government information is considered sensitive. That means it requires protection because of the risk and magnitude of loss or harm that could result from its inadvertent or deliberate disclosure, alteration, or destruction. At a time when executives are being asked to do more with less, managing these information lifelines is a major protection issue. Traditionally, Americans have relied on the federal government to help establish rules and standards for progress, safety, and fairness. And throughout history, dedicated federal executives have helped make our country an unparalleled success story. But in today's world, if federal employees are not held to the highest standard in order to protect valuable government information, and as a result, sensitive data is lost, altered, or destroyed, our quality of life could be threatened. By passing the Computer Security Act of 1987, Congress recognized the need to keep the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data in federal systems secure. The Act mandated that every federal employee with access to sensitive information receive appropriate computer security and awareness training. Since then, both the number of threats to information systems and the number of employees using computers have increased dramatically. Today, federal workers use everything from network desktops to laptops in order to get their jobs done. But because any computer can be a doorway into every information system you have, the threats are greater than ever.
As a federal executive, your highest level of responsibility is to achieve your agency's mission. The only way to do that is to make protecting your computer information assets a top priority.
It begins by understanding the threats to your system. First, there are environmental threats. These include natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, tornadoes, or fire. Second, physical breakdowns impact systems, such as failures in electrical power or air conditioning. The most common threat to any system, however, is man-made. These come from both internal and external sources and can be either accidental or intentional. One example is the improper use of a password. Passwords are literally the keys to the store. Just as a store owner would never give up the keys to a client, employees must never share their password with coworkers or contractors. Another man-made threat is from the theft of data, software, or hardware. This happens if employees don't secure their workspace or leave their laptops unattended in public places. Data alteration can occur if a computer virus is contained in information that is downloaded from the internet or brought in on a floppy disk. Over the years, one of the biggest threats in terms of altering data has been the disgruntled employee. But the fastest growing threat to any system today comes from computer hackers, many of whom alter or destroy data. Any one of these threats costs time and money and could result in lost or damaged information, the disclosure of sensitive material to unauthorized persons, modified information that is no longer accurate, or a computer that may no longer be accessed or used.
If the information you are protecting falls into the wrong hands, is distorted or destroyed, you will not only be prevented from accomplishing your mission on time and within budget, you could be held personally accountable. To ensure this does not happen, you must implement risk management. That takes commitment and leadership, but it's the only way to assure the operational continuity, integrity, and confidentiality of your systems.
Begin by reviewing your computer security to ensure that it's up to date and complies with applicable laws and regulations. Next, assign responsibility for data security by delegating authority. Your managers should be able to identify the threats and vulnerabilities to your system and determine alternate processing sources in the event of a system failure. Be prepared to accept risk as part of doing business and allocate the resources to cover your responsibilities as stated in the Act. While there will never be enough money to protect a system from every threat, by knowing which are most likely to impair your mission and then funding necessary countermeasures, risks can be significantly reduced. Computer security is everyone's responsibility, but you must provide the resources to achieve it. This includes implementing an ongoing training program for every employee with access to information resources. Only once your staff is trained can they be held accountable for the security of the information that is entrusted to them. Be diligent in monitoring the effectiveness of these efforts through internal self-assessments and external independent reviews. And finally, analyze the costs associated with effective controls and be prepared to defend your decisions. Risk management should be done in conjunction with other executives and include input from your own staff. Working together, you'll discover effective ways to restore processing capabilities in the event of severe service disruption. Ensure that your system information remains accurate and complete, and protect information from intruders or unauthorized personnel.
We live in the most information-rich nation in the world, and the price for that privilege is significant responsibility. Effective protection of sensitive information requires everyone's cooperation. If we do not accept that challenge, we are adding to the problem. By demonstrating concern for the lack of security awareness within the federal government and then following through with a commitment to all of your computer security responsibilities, you will help set new standards in employee responsibility. More importantly, your leadership will promote the security culture that is needed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our government's sensitive data. Thanks for doing your part to ensure a secure future for every American.